Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TRS Live with your hosts Brian Keller, Matt Trotz, and Zach Hoffman, presented by The Real Shot.
I'ma do this here forever.
EQ.
Forever.
Triune.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I'ma do this here forever. All you haters better get comfy. This the day you've been waiting on. Your road is finna get bumpy. This the track I'm making my statement on. I ain't going nowhere. This the place that I'm making home. I'll do this shit forever. Hit the gas and I'm taking off. Ow. I was born with passion. My job is never ending and my hustle's everlasting. No matter what, I'm gon' ball, even with my back to the wall. And the best part is that this is the beginning. I'ma do this here forever. Forever.
Why did I do that? There we go. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing this morning?
I'm doing
guys?
good.
Are you asking us? Or are you
Yeah,
asking-
Well, I didn't
everyone's
know.
just
He's
staring
all-
at their laps. What's
he's
up,
all,
guys?
Like, he's all over there, clicking away and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
There
what's
you
going
go.
on?
Great morning.
Good morning.
Great morning.
Good morning.
It's sunny outside. We got a high of 6 degrees. We got
Yonder
people
head.
out on the ice. It's gonna be a good day.
Gonna.
You guys and all, you had the blooper thing, right?
Yeah.
You guys and your accents. I don't have a cool accent. I can't do anything cool accent-wise. I can make fun of myself really well,
Yeah.
but I can't do any cool
See,
accents.
that's what it's all about. Just being able to make fun of yourself.
Yeah, but I
Right.
don't have any cool accents to make it look like I'm just being,
Dude.
a youper.
Mine's just natural. Just natural.
I believe it.
I think your wife actually said that. She's like, "Hey, look at how lucky I am.
Yeah.
I get to deal with this guy."
Real lucky. Real lucky. So
Oh,
cool.
boy.
So
What are we talking about today, Matt? Let us know.
Man, you know what, Zach? There's so many cool things we're gonna talk about. First of all, we got Tony. Let's introduce Tony again.
Hey.
Tony's back. Yeah, applause. You got applause going on. But Tony's in the room because Tony is one of the only people at the Real Shot that actually goes ice fishing. And it's we say that as a joke, but I mean you've been out. You were just out yesterday. You were a brave soul.
Braving it.
I had tried to contact you yesterday, your day off. First that's a bug
wouldn't answer
right
your
off
call
the
either.
bat. Yeah, he didn't the first time.
Smart man.
Yeah, until I sent him an emoji of something, and he
I was too
responded.
busy trying to catch fish.
Yeah, so you were out on Bago yesterday, and when I talked to you about 3 o'clock, you were trying to come off of Bago, and it was treacherous,
Yes.
like a rish. And everything like that. So let's talk about, first of all, we did a video. We did an awesome video, the landing video, which, we appreciate everybody that's watching it. Hopefully it helps a lot of people out as we start.
Now, since that video, obviously we've had this major cold spell.
Well, that's what I was going to
Right.
touch base with.
Okay.
I mean, because that was Tuesday we filmed that, and
Yep.
that went out Wednesday.
And then Wednesday, my buddy's buddy put his truck through one of the spots that we filmed and said to ourselves, "This
Yeah.
is not really looking that great."
Spruce
Lane.
on
Boygan,
Bago,
yeah.
Boygan.
Which surprisingly enough, Spruce Lane looked bad just at the launch itself, but he went in about 40 yards straight out from the launch.
Oh, wow.
So that's a little different.
That was
But
pretty bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
That launch looked bad.
So that video, so again, thanks to everybody that's watching it. But you went out yesterday. Tell us about where you went out and how everything looked.
Went out to Merritt Street. First time driving out on Winnebago this year.
Yep.
First time every year. I'm always kind of sketched out, but
So as of Tuesday, that landing looked like it was really good shape. Was it
The-
still in good shape?
the landing was in good shape.
Yep.
Can't stress enough driving slow out
Yes.
on the ice because it's not. I definitely would not say it's safe and just good to go. Strong winds today.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
that'll get her shifting. So,
Yeah.
but
What- was
I
there-
had like 15 to 20 inches pretty much everywhere.
Now, some areas when we were on Bago, they had like a crust layer and then they had water.
Yep.
Did you find any of that, or did that pretty
Oh.
much firm up?
A little bit. Most of it was firmed up, but I did see a guy. So we only went out about 2.25 miles
Okay.
straight off. They got a tree line out. We went there, and when I got home, there was a post on Facebook that a guy busted through pretty good out like 3.5 miles.
So it got stuck or actually put his truck through?
No, it just looked like the ice all broke up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm guessing it was just a top layer that froze up. I have to believe it didn't actually break all the way through. But
Well, and that's what Don kept talking about with like the sunken dive guy is he kept saying like the ice was in for the most part really good condition, but that snow probably covered up a lot of those shoves and those cracks that you could see perfect on Tuesday, but were probably camouflaged on Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, yesterday was Thursday. Yeah, so yeah, that's cool. So, anyways, you went out 2 1/4. What'd you catch?
0. Oh, the weather was brutal.
Oh man,
I think it was one of those. Timing has a lot to do with fishing. You got to be in the right place at the right time.
Right.
And we were marking fish. They were very finicky, and it was pouring.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
pouring.
crazy.
We were looking out the window. It was 15 degrees.
You want to put that rod down?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Sorry.
It's in front of your face.
No,
No
I
big
thought,
deal.
I thought
Just
The viewers
Stick it
might
right
want
across.
to back up.
well, I was going to say.
Well, we'll get-
Yeah.
Tip.
well, I've got a bag
Oh.
over here.
You got a bag or what?
I got a bag over here. You have to. Oh my man, you gotta
Matt,
listen.
Matt,
Is
the
it
rod
plastic?
blocking
The
your
rod was
face.
block your face.
Oh.
And Tony
Tony's like,
said,
maybe people want it up there. And he said, no, I've got a bag. Oh, my goodness. Holy cow.
Well, I thought
you would almost think it's a
smugglers.
Monday
I was
with
just
how you've
gonna
been
say
doing
that.
it.
I think it's Monday.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Been out of it all morning.
Anyways,
Wow.
back to Tony.
Thank God we don't have the show at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez. So, but you told me you were marking a bunch of fish.
Yep, I'm pretty certain they were perch and small walleye, maybe some nice ones too, but that's mainly what people have been getting. A lot of perch.
Okay.
Perch are biting out there, but not on days that I have off. I always seem to catch the nice storm fronts.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
that's how it works. So that's normal.
that's
Yep.
normal. And this month so far, it's been almost every other day. I mean, it's some kind of huge weather change.
Yep.
We looked at yesterday. It was 18 degrees and it was downpouring. How does that even happen? Then 5 minutes later, you look back out the window and it's sleeting, and then the next thing you know, it's snowing. So,
Yeah.
how was your drive home last night after getting off the lake?
Slow, but I didn't have any close calls, other than a few people turning out and when they should have waited for
Right.
me to pass by them.
Yep.
So I had to kind of grip the wheel a little bit tighter.
White knuckle driving.
Yeah.
So we're talking ice fishing stuff today, and then we're also waiting to get the queue because Justin Mundt and Jess Mundt are on Bago as of right now.
Yep.
So we were gonna go to them right away to cut their hole in, but they had a mishap.
Uh-oh.
We're not
Never.
sure
That- not-
exactly
not
what
them,
happened.
not-
Did you get the full story or no?
We got
No,
Zach
we'll talk
got
to
a
him on
brief
live.
story, yeah, but
Oh, okay.
supposedly they hired somebody
Yep.
or working with somebody
Yep,
to cut
yep.
their big hole in, and they had a mishap with their saw. So Justin and Jess, from what we understand, are just fine.
Okay.
Sounds about 10:20. They'll be on.
10:20.
I'm gonna try
Was
and
he trying
bring
to
them
find
up at
another
10:20.
saw?
They're trying to get somebody else to come over there.
Isn't
and
it
cut
isn't
in.
it awesome how every time you try to schedule something, it 100% fails. It's
Every
never
time.
going to work.
Well, and that's we were lucky that
Every time.
Tony's so readily available up front. But so what we did, Tony, is you're familiar with this too, but we put together some must-haves for the upcoming battle on Bago. That's 2 weeks away. That's like the 25th or something like that of this month. So, I mean, the staff here, a lot of you guys fish it. We're going to hopefully be out there. Justin fishes it. You've fished it before. Nate, most of the people in the storefront fish it. So we just kind of put together a list, and I think Lance has got a title like Battle on Bago Must-Haves or something like that. So we have some of these products out in front of us, the go-tos for that. So in front of here is, I don't know, Zach, is the camera going to be able to capture this stuff?
Yep, I'm right on you right now, but you got to pick it up in front of your face.
My face.
There you go. Yep. You're
Well,
good.
before I got yelled at for having a rod.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's
now
'cause-
you're talking about it. Just
trying
hold
to
it
be
like
nice
this.
to you.
bud.
I know.
Hold it like
Trying to
this,
be nice
and
to
you'll be
you.
perfect.
So, I mean, Tony, maybe these aren't your preference of style baits, but these are going to cover what most guys are going to do. They're running and gunning for the most part on Bago. If anybody's not really fished it, you don't really set up in one spot and fish that spot the whole day. If you do mark a pile of fish, it's okay to just stay on them and try to get them to bite. But, I mean, most of the people are going to be moving with the schools or anything like that. So you're going to want to go to something that's usually loud, maybe bright, because with all the runoff, what was water clarity like?
It actually wasn't all that bad. I dropped that Markham camera down there and 17 feet of water and I could see clear as day. Unfortunately, I didn't see any fish, but
So the runoff really didn't have a big. We were kind of worried about that with sturgeon spearing. Justin would probably talk about that too a little bit. But the way the water was coming off Tuesday on Fire Lane 8, you would swear it looked like chocolate milk going in there. So that was pretty crazy.
it's going to vary around the lake too. I
Right.
mean, the north end probably is a lot clearer. East side of the lake probably is dirty.
Yep.
Yep.
What were you dropping down yesterday? You don't have to give if it's a secret bait. You don't have to give
No,
exacts.
no
but-
secrets. Jigging wraps. I like to run with like a 1-2 punch. Like I'll have a spoon on one, and then I'll have some kind of bait, like maybe a rip and wrap or something,
Okay.
just to draw them in.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll hit those aggressive baits, but
And a lot of times out there, I mean, by having a loud bait like this one, you can kind of rip it. It'll vibrate. It'll make a whole bunch of noise, and you can almost call fish in from other areas.
clown.
Clown?
Clown's a classic.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a custom right there.
We've sold a lot of those.
Oh,
over the years.
well, and that was one thing too. I was gonna grab the jig and wrap, the clowns, but if you don't know what that looks like by now, I mean, you're
There's been a lot of money won in Battle and Bago on a clown jigging rap.
clown jig
Oh,
and
yeah.
wrap.
A lot.
So when you and I were talking originally too, Tony, you had mentioned like, you know, a 2 for a size, a 3 or a 5, and you said like I like to go to a 5 once in a while. What are you doing when you justify that, or like how do you notice the bite is?
Usually for me, like a day like yesterday, I'm gonna use 2 or 3. I'm not gonna use a 5. Not to say that it won't work, but I just expected a tough bite. So
Yep. Just downsize,
Yep.
make it a little bit easier for them to
yep.
want to come and get it. So
I mean, if you catch a day with good weather, drop a 5 down there.
right.
Some of my best days on Winnebago came on a size 5 jigging wrap. So
I mean, it's a silly question, but like, do you normally catch all size of fish on that then, or are you just catching more the bigger fish then?
I actually have caught some nice crappie on them too. So
Really?
Yeah.
The
Those-
size of the bait doesn't dictate.
No, I mean they're gonna
mean,
eat it no matter what.
it does a little bit, but I mean I've caught tiny walleyes on number 5 jigging wraps.
So right now, besides clown, what's your next favorite jigging wrap to go to?
My personal would be gold. The gold with the black back.
The black gold.
Yep.
That's another super popular one. That one compared to clown is one we sell a pile of.
Yep.
So like we're kind of talking favorites here. Now this one here, the forage minnow. I don't know where I got to be with it.
Just right in front of you
there.
like that.
All
You're
right,
good.
right here. I like the forage minnow. Buddy introduced me to these when I first started fishing the Bago system, and he goes, "You got to try these." And so I put them on, and I mean, we maybe were on a bite where anything would have worked that day, but this is my go-to. This is my confident lure out there. I mean, this forage minnow, I tip it with some red spikes or something like these mummy worms here, but this one for me gives me confidence. Have you ever tried the forage minnow stuff before?
They're pretty awesome actually. That would be a good one to have as your like finesse
Yes.
presentation when you're calling them in.
Yep.
You get them to come in. That would be a good one to drop.
Well,
down.
and I like this too with that single hook, because just like the Z Viber, I mean, if there's a school down there and you want to try to keep them active and keep them interested, the single hook comes out way easier than all of a sudden now if you have a couple trebles stuck someplace and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. So I personally like the forage minnow. This is my go-to Bago Poigan. Now I'm not gonna say I fish Bago Poigan like every day like Tony potentially would and could.
That's definitely a popular bait on Winnebago,
But I think
especially for perch.
It's one of those overlooked baits too. A lot of guys automatically come in, they're grabbing cast masters and slender spoons and all that kind of stuff. I usually recommend it, and I don't. Hopefully, people have luck with it.
I think that's a big thing you're hitting on right there too. Is if you know everybody around you. A lot of times on Bago, you end up being a tight school, right?
Yep.
The fish are kind of tightly schooled, so you end up fishing near a lot of people. If you're competing with those same fish against everybody else, sometimes throwing them something a little different than that seen
Yep.
from 400 other guys
Yep.
makes a big difference.
Yep. So in my arsenal, I have almost this shiner color right here, and then I have one with like a clown look. But I had one, I had one that I was really, really confident in, and the paint came off, so it was a gold back. And that one at one point was just crushing every other lure I dropped down. Personally, myself, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but I've never had good luck with a jig and wrap out on Poigan or Bago.
Really?
I mean, and that sounds silly because everybody's like, how do you
fish it? when you're jigging it, because there's a tactic that.
Right. So I'll rip.
Yep.
You know, so if I take this rod right here, this rod and reel combo, you know, more like most people, I'll rip, not like dags, but I'll pound and then I'll just pound it.
So when you pull it up though, do you let drop your rod right away, or do you hold it? Because they only work right if your line's slack when it's falling.
Yeah.
down.
So I'll rip and then I won't go down with it, but then I'll just let the line go slack.
You got to go down fast enough to let the line go slack.
Yep.
And then it could do its thing. Because if you
Oh.
rip it and then hold it tight and go down slow, that bait doesn't do what it's designed
just
to
kinda
do.
just
It
sits.
just sits there and goes like this.
Ah.
See, the wings on that bait are designed to kind of make it like fly around a
Dive.
little bit, but it only does that on slack line.
Well, and usually I could tell, and tell me if I'm wrong, if it works right, if it goes off your locator.
Yep.
Like if you rip it and you can't see it anywhere on your locator, and all of a sudden it comes in off the side and there it is again, I'm hoping that means I'm doing it correctly.
The way you were doing it, you should be able to catch fish doing
Right.
that.
And
The
maybe I
big-
just don't give it the benefit of the doubt enough. Maybe it's not enough of a confidence lure like the forage minnow is for me, where I don't give it enough of a chance. But it's just funny when I tell locals that I can't catch fish on a jigging wrap. They're like, "Wow, you must be a terrible fisherman," which could be
and
true.
maybe they're right.
Yeah,
Maybe they're right.
That's true. Let's go deer hunting once. But anyways,
I don't care what anyone says. There's a lot of luck involved. You gotta find the active fish. I mean,
Right.
just because there's fish down there don't mean that they're gonna hit your bait.
So I got a story. I got a story about the forage minnow. There was one year I was on Poigan with some guys, and we were doing really, really well. And the school was out towards the middle like it normally is. There was a bunch of trucks, and all of a sudden piles of trucks just start heading towards Indian Point. Boom, boom, boom. So we're like, well, say with the trends, let's head in. So we piled in. We kind of went right in the middle. Well, if anybody knows that Indian Point, Norwegian Bay area, it really shallows up. I think we were no more than like 4 foot of water at the time, and the water was just chocolate because it was a warmer day and it was pretty dirty. But the cool part is I had that gold one on, that gold forage minnow, and I was in the middle of a pack of people, and nobody were catching fish consistently. So I dropped down and I had my mark 'em, and I marked fish instantly. Boom, set the hook, white bass, maybe a couple walleye. The cool story is a guy who didn't have a locator at all. So this is like a good shout out for a locator as well. I moved out of that hole just to try something different. He went over there and he's just using a jig and wrap with no locator. And he's not catching any fish. So he gives up on that hole rather quickly and he moves on. I go back to that hole, dropped him a locator down. There was still fish down there. And I dropped down that minnow and that forage minnow. I caught like a couple white bass right off the bat. But it's like those fish are down there. He was dropping a jig and wrap and them fish probably
without a
saw
locator, you're so blind.
Right.
You could be 3 feet below them. I mean, if you're working that up and they're following it, how do you do that if you can't see them?
it.
Highly recommend a locator. However, I hear a lot of people say they would not, if they forgot their locator, got to the lake, they wouldn't fish. They'd go home. No way I would ever do that. No way. Actually, my best day on Winnebago, I pulled my son in one sled and all the gear in another, went 2 miles out of Merritt.
Walking?
And yep,
Oh,
walking.
man.
Everybody else was driving. It was when I was new to
Yep.
going out on Winnebago, and we ended up limiting out in like a half hour.
With no locator.
No locator, gold number 5 jigging wrap. There were people everywhere. Nobody was catching anything.
Well, and that's just the thing. I mean, before locators got super popular or super affordable, nobody had one.
Yep.
Well, what?
Topper's your dad, right?
Yeah.
He's telling you to sit up straight.
Oh, jeez. Whatever. Thanks, Dad. But I mean, like, you think about that. You think about that, and you say that, and that's a true point. It's like, I honestly, I think I would go home and get it.
I would too. I'm with you.
I think a lot of people are like that, but I don't know. I'll never forget before locators.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I used to fish and catch fish
And
all
we
the
did
time
really,
without
really
them.
well.
Yep.
And maybe that's the problem. Maybe we caught fish before the locator because there was more fish. There wasn't people.
Well, it's no different than apparel. We talk a lot about
Yeah.
striker and all those things. People fished for years and years and years without all of that techie gear.
Yep.
But once you have it, it's kind of hard to, same thing with like shooting a new bow.
Right.
I told a buddy of mine he was shooting a 20-year-old bow, and he's like, I really need a new one. And I told him, I said, do not go shoot one unless you're going to buy one. Unless you're planning on buying one, don't even do it. You're just wasting your time.
Yep.
Because the second you
It's
touch
not
one
gonna
and
be the
shoot
same.
it, you're going to be like, oh boy.
Yep.
It's over, right?
And it's the truth.
That's the truth. It's the same thing with the new augers, new shacks.
Yep.
I mean, everything gets better all the time. And
And-
once you get accustomed to it, it's kind of hard to go back to the, hey, let's go on the lake and triangulate between that shack and that pine tree over there. You
Oh,
know?
right. And we had a spot off of Partridge, a buddy and I, and we, that Lake Partridge crop is so shallow, it doesn't even pay to use a locator out there.
Right.
Well, yeah, and not either one of us had a camera, but we did. Like, okay, so there was a cabin out there. If you line yourself up with the middle of that cabin window, then there's a birch tree on this shoreline. Now you're pretty close because we're literally out there. It was a sand point or a sandbar, like right out in the middle, and you had to be literally right on the edge of the weeds. So you had to drill a bunch of holes and just look through. But that would have been huge.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's why I get lucky. I'm going to get to use this one this weekend. My first time ever really using a camera. I'm excited for it.
Shallow water, I think that's the way to go. Deeper water, that's the big selling point with a flasher, in my opinion. Without a flasher, you're not going to know that there's fish suspended. How are you going to fish them without?
Yep.
I mean, if you're in 20 feet of water and you got walleye or crappie coming through high up in the water column, chances are you're going to be fishing down maybe in the bottom 4 feet of the water column, and you won't even know that you're missing out on quality
Cameras
fish.
are great for kids too.
Yes. Oh yeah,
for kids for anybody who doesn't understand how to read a flasher.
Yep.
I would like come in and talk to Tony or one of the guys around here that knows. I mean, learning how to actually see what you're looking at is a big deal.
Huge.
A lot of flashing lights going on in circles. Actually learning what you're looking at, but. Like when my son was younger and stuff, the cameras were great because, I don't ice fish a lot. Everyone around here knows that, but he loves ice fishing and he goes out with the camera. He uses a flasher now, but when he started, it was all the camera.
Yep.
And then I put the camera next to the flasher so he could see it. Then he could see what the flasher was showing him.
Oh.
And then that's how I kind of slowly transitioned him into the flasher. Flasher is definitely the way to go long term, but it's a great tool to help you learn. Again, see what you're looking at.
Right.
Yep. If you're marking fish and you're not getting them to bite and you want to know what they are, drop the camera down.
Right.
See what they are.
Well, you think about that a lot of times, like on Bago or something, where you get those marks that are there consistently. They'll chase. What kind of fish is that? Where they come ripping up?
Usually it's a perch or a small walleye.
Right.
But, yep.
Well, the other thing with the kids is the biggest thing with the outdoors is just getting them interested in it. And there's nothing more boring for a kid than fishing and not catching anything.
Right.
It's the worst thing ever.
I don't know. I don't even kid
know.
or an adult.
Well, I'd like to think some adults have a little longer attention span, right? But
not me.
My dad didn't do this with me, and I love fishing, so I don't know how I ended up figuring that out because we'd go out, hey, we're musky fishing, we're going all day, we get 2 bites. That's fishing, kid. Get used to it, right?
Right.
But a lot of kids, if you've got a kid in the boat and you're fishing and you've got a live well full of fish, what do they do constantly?
Looking at live.
They're opening the live well up and looking at the fish. Like all day long. It's just, when my son was younger, the first fish I'd catch, I just throw in the live well, sheephead or whatever, just give him something to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, a camera can go a long way. You want to talk about paying babysitters and stuff. Hey, go ice fishing, take the kid, drop the camera down the hole, keep him occupied.
What's that snorkel thing you were saying they use that it's illegal for bass fishing tournaments?
Oh, yeah.
What is that called?
The flogger.
Flogger. Yeah. Just bring a flogger along, have your kid just burn.
Oh, yeah, it works. It keeps them occupied, right?
Right.
Just give them something to do.
So where I live, a lot of the lakes out in Washera County are crystal clear.
Yep.
And there's not a whole lot of structure differences on some of those lakes. So there's a lot of cribs, and what the DNR did a lot in the last couple of years is drop a lot of trees, bring a lot of trees out. So that's what I'm excited to use the camera for. Now, a lot of times the water's not quite deep enough where I can still sight fish it, close the shack up, and I can see those fish.
Yep.
But I want to drop the camera down on those cribs and see what's all in there. Because if you've never cribbed fish before in the wintertime, it is a blast.
I'm pretty sure there's cribs in that Lake X.
Is there?
I would love to. I still want to drop a camera down there and check it out. But
Sunday after you close the store, let's
Lake
go.
X.
Yeah.
Can you put a bolt in Lake X?
No, you cannot.
Oh, okay.
You gotta.
I was gonna say, if
shoot, I just gave it away.
Well, no, there's a lot. There's a lot of lakes
there's a
out there
lot
you
of
can't put
lakes.
bolts in.
You
But
could.
if you could put a bolt in, I could find them real fast for you.
Yep.
Yeah, with your down
Side imaging and stuff, it'd be like, game over.
Yeah.
You'd have to portage it, but
Well, but now with the Panoptics, Panoptics will help you if you want to go drill
Right.
holes. You'll find those cribs at the Panoptics
Well,
if they're there.
that would be another
money thing to have.
That
on,
would be awesome there.
Well, that's what I'm kind of curious to see what Justin had to say for Sturgeon Scouting with that Panoptics, if it really helped him. Because I think he took a camera as well. Because that Panoptics doesn't have a camera, though, right? That's the Markham I'm thinking about, where you can do a camera and a flasher. Right. All right,
Yep.
but I wonder how.
But I mean, with Panoptics and that, I mean, you're literally live sonar, so you drop that down, you kind of swing, and you'll see the, see the crib show up if it's there.
Right. So yeah, I'm excited for a lot of this stuff. So I mean, we don't want to get into just huge product talking about, but I mean, a lot of these lures, if we haven't touched on it already, ice fishing is pretty much 100% on sale in the store. I mean,
a lot of it is.
It's there's so much stuff.
We still got the 30 off on Striker.
30 off on Striker.
The baits really aren't, but rods and reels 20% off, or not reels, ice rods and combos 20%
off. And the thing about why, you might ask, why are the lures not on sale? Because the lures are such a crossover. I mean, I panfish a lot with small ice jigs.
Yep.
And, even like a lot of this stuff, you could just go out.
These are white bass killers in the springtime.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
White bass killers, crappies.
Yep.
The Shiver minnow is a big deal on the Bay of Green Bay for walleyes, right?
Yes.
It's a spin-off on the Jig and Wrap.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of the guys, there's the In-Fisherman's been doing a lot of articles on using Jig and Wrap style baits, on open water for smallies and walleyes and all this stuff. So
yep.
That's why we never really, if it's stuff that doesn't really go old,
No, and with the construction that's going to start happening to the floor, there might be an ice presence pretty much 365 as well. I mean, we're going to try to leave not shacks and augers and all that kind of stuff, but we've always tried to do our best to leave the spider, as we call it, where all our ice fishing baits and plastics are on. But there'll be more of an ice presence year round, just because.
Right. Well, it's in our expanded panfish assortment.
Yes,
is a lot of this stuff.
A lot of the same in plastics. I mean, I know a lot of guys that'll drop them real fine-tuned plastics, like the little atom type stuff.
Yep, especially in the spring.
Yep.
Spring panfish, they'll hit plastics. I'll probably be using these mummy worms.
Yeah, let's talk about these things. So Zach likes the mummy worms. I've never fished with them yet. I'm gonna try them this weekend. But they're mummified wax worms. Like, if you open this up, they smell like formaldehyde. It's crazy. And Zach says they move.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, I'm pretty sure the process, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the process is they just take their full-grown larva, dump them in the mixture, and that's it. So I actually, the first time I used them, I pulled them out, and I have a separate spot in my jig box for plastics. So I wanted to just put them in there so I wasn't carrying around a bunch of little pieces of, the circle pucks or whatever. Put them all in there, and as I dump them in there, they're all moving. I mean, at least 10 of them were moving.
Oh, that's for sure what that is.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Now smell your finger. Smell like formaldehyde.
That's awesome.
But the other cool thing about it is, like, our waxworms are phenomenal. From the guys we get them from, but these are all like plump and they look amazing.
And they last for like 2 years is their shelf life.
That's the big thing with them. I typically recommend them to people. Have it in your arsenal. It's a backup. Right. They last for 2 years. If you decide to not pick up waxworms before you head out, and then you get out there and you're like, dang it, I should have had waxworms.
What is the cost of those compared to?
It's like $6
It
for
is.
a puck.
It is cheaper up front to get real waxworms, but
unless you leave them in your fridge.
Yeah, and they turn black and start flying out of the tin after you open it.
We sell these for $5.79, but
and how many are in there? I forget how many are in that.
They say roughly average 35.
I was gonna say it's based on
pretty
weight,
much.
I'm sure.
Yep. But yeah, they are, and they come in a pile of colors as well. Like the red is probably the most go-to like meat you can put on a lure. Would I be wrong in saying that? Besides, the original tan of a wax or a spike, red is usually my go-to. Like, I will usually fish red spikes over anything else for the most part, unless somebody around me is catching them on original spikes or wax worms or something like that. But red, so that's why we grabbed the red. And they have two different colors of this red. This is like they have red, and then they have like bright red or something like that. So. This is the Euro. Is this Euro tackle?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, like, we have a huge assortment of Euro tackle, but
they seem to be a company that's coming out with some really
they're
cool
doing some
ice
awesome
fishing
stuff.
In an industry, ice fishing is kind of an older.
Yep.
I don't want to say older. There's a lot of new stuff obviously here coming out, but they seem to be coming out with some pretty cool stuff.
Well, and since we're on the live bait kind of this kind of stuff talk. we got a couple things here that I think are super important. We sell these. These are these Better Bait tablets. You rip them open. I usually put half in, and then if I do a water transfer or something like that, I'll use the other half. It was awesome. The other day, Justin came in, and he goes, look at these minnows. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're shiner minnows. They're swimming around. And he had the Better Bait in there. He goes, guess how old they are? I don't know. They are old. I don't know. You fish almost every day like Tony does. He said they're over a week old.
Shiners?
Shiners.
Emerald shiners
Emerald
are
shiners.
not easy to
They're
keep
not.
alive
They're almost
either.
impossible to
We
keep
have,
alive.
he said they're over a week old. And I said, well, what'd you do? Keep them in your garage or something? Would the water stay cool? He goes, no, I brought them in the house. So those fish have been through a water fluctuation like
multiple
crazy.
Like
they went from the ice to the house to back to the ice.
unreal.
And he swears by this stuff. Like he swears, and I've started using a lot more of it.
I use it all the time.
Especially like we get a lot of guys that come in, or fishing men and women come in and say, I'm heading up north. Is my bait gonna last? It's like, yeah, you put one of these in here, and especially if you have an aerator in your bucket, you're gonna be just fine.
This fish will be all jacked up.
Oh yeah, and it does.
I've actually had them where they jumped out of the bucket.
yeah.
Like if you have depending on what kind of bucket you got.
Right.
I mean, if you were to put that in here and put a few minnows in there, there's a good possibility a minnow is going to jump out just because they become very lively.
It does. I'm jacked up on Better Bait.
Yep.
Well, and obviously here, so we got the angle coolers. We got 3 different sizes of these angle coolers. So
we currently have 2, I believe, in stock. I think we're out of the 19 quart right now.
Oh,
so 13 and 30,
right?
I believe.
You personally have one of these.
I have the 13. Love it. I don't think I'll ever own another. I mean, I have a million minnow buckets, styrofoam.
Right.
I need to get rid of them, but this thing is sweet.
Yes, and a good customer of the Real Shot, Josh Muthick, was the one that kind of brought these in. He said that he found it elsewhere because we didn't carry it at the time, and he loves it.
Yep.
He talks about one thing, not only minnows lasting a lot longer, but he said leeches in this thing last a lot longer as well.
Cooler.
Keeps them cooler, and it helps eliminate.
I got to tell you, my favorite thing about it, I like to try to keep my minnows for a few days.
Yeah.
They make a wall charger. I wish they included the wall charger with it. They include a cigarette lighter adapter.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool too, but we sell the wall chargers for it, and that way you can put it in your basement or whatever.
Nice.
Plug it in, run that aerator until you're gonna go fishing next. Your minnows are gonna stay.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shoulder strap. Oh yeah, there's the car one, and this thing is money too. This little divider that goes in there. This thing is really super cool. So yeah, I mean it's just another thing. I mean,
how does that work? How does it open it up? How does that divider work? You gotta package it.
So there's a handle right here.
Okay.
It's gonna sit down. It actually fits the contour inside there.
Oh, so you can pull it out.
So you pull it up to get your
Awesome.
minnows
Yeah.
instead of having to reach in there.
Yep.
Or have a separate minnow net, or that's
Yep.
frozen all the time.
Yep.
Very
So yeah, this thing is, and there's a lot of people that are loving these things now. Just like a lot of the good products out there, it's a little bit costly at first. But
what is the price on there? Somebody was asking.
$79.99. This is a 13 quart.
Okay.
So but it's just one of those things that or for summer fishing, for winter fishing, it's just going to help keep your bait a lot more consistent.
I've actually had a few guys that use those for live wells too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, for sure.
Not a bad.
panfish,
That's a
it would
great
work.
idea.
Yep. The larger size, I mean, you could fit walleye in there even. So
How big is the big one?
30
I
quart,
believe
right?
it's 30 quart.
wow.
Oh yeah, Zach's got it up
That
there.
is big.
Yeah, they're seeing that too, Zach.
What was that?
No, this is his
This is just
other
what we're
screen.
seeing.
Nope, this is just what you guys are seeing.
Okay.
This is literally the Skype monitor. So
Oh, okay.
you can see this.
Remember, I'm playing
I know.
catch up on all
I know.
this.
It's all good.
Brian got me a fancy thing that he's got over there, and I'm like,
I mean,
cool.
this particular one, if you're going for limits of perch, you're not going to fit limits in there, but you could definitely keep some fish in there.
Well,
So-
and I like that because like, how many fish is too many at times? The limit right now in some lakes is 25, dude. I thought aren't they proposing to drop it down to 15 in some areas?
I believe so. Actually, I think they already started to do that on some lakes, but
Yeah, they did that trial period on some of the more popular lakes. I like it. I mean,
everybody's got their different views on it.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see it lowered, but I know.
Well, here's why I think the lower, like we're talking about electronics and panoptics and all. It's so much easier to find fish than it used to be, right?
Yep.
Like the days of catching your limit, and that limit, you might not catch fish for 2-3 weeks or whatever, and that's going to kind of carry you over. I think some of that is kind of past, personally, just my opinion. I mean, it's easier than ever to find fish, catch fish. There's more knowledge out there, the internet, all this stuff. I mean, I think that all plays into this whole, the changing of some of these regulations for sure.
Yep. And, I mean, if I'm wrong, but after I start cleaning more than 12 fish, dude, that's just a lot.
That's where I'm at, too. I mean, my personal limit is usually right around 10, but I might keep 15. It depends on where I'm at. If I feel like I need some fish in the freezer.
Right.
But I mean, I eat fish regularly, and I can tell you I don't keep limits of panfish.
No.
So for someone who's just now getting into catching and actually eating fish, question: can you actually take a fish and just freeze it, like literally the full body, and just freeze it, or do you have to fillet it and then freeze it in water?
I would definitely recommend gutting it.
Yep.
Okay.
You can if it's gutted, you can put the whole rest of the fish.
Sure.
If it's gilled and gutted.
Okay.
We've done that for years with salmon and trout. I don't see why it would be any different for walleyes.
Right.
I've never heard. I mean, I'm sure people have
I
done
don't
it.
recommend it because to properly fillet it,
Right.
you're going to need to thaw it out completely.
Well,
and-
there's nothing worse than when you let those fish sit on the ice for a couple hours on a really cold day, and you get home and it's just a brick. That I mean, when they're a little frozen, I actually
a lot of
like
times
they fillet a lot easier.
Panfish wise, if you gut them out,
Yep.
gill them, cut. I mean, a lot of people eat them that way too. You just fry them up, and
Right.
as long as they're scaled, right?
Scale them up. Yep.
I never
Definitely.
scale them.
You
Well-
know?
I never scale panfish.
Do you
but
just fillet them all?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna say that's what I do too. Is just fillet every single one.
I've become one of those picky people who cleans the fillets up really good. I don't like having any skin on there. That's where you get that fishy taste from.
Yes.
Yep.
And if, like go back to Brian's point, if you're introducing like a kid or a woman or another fisherman or another person that's never eaten fish
Just say,
before,
watch it. It could go the other way.
I know. It could.
I know some women that are going to introduce their guy someday to.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Well, you know what I'm saying. The worst thing is as soon as that, like if you're breaded it and that breading peels off and they see that skin underneath it, that
freaks them out.
Yep.
Yep.
And plus, the worst thing, especially with venison, for sure.
Yes.
The worst thing, you get somebody introduced, say, "Hey, here's your first time ever eating venison, and it tastes gamey."
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's it. It's over. Done. Trying to get them to try it again later is.
I must have made that mistake with my wife because I made venison chili at home that I brought some and we're gonna make some today at the store. But she's like,
Sweet.
She's like, I'm not a fan. I don't know why I'm like, that's a bummer. So somewhere down the road, she had a bad experience and she's not even excited about it. Like,
But would she try it again? Because my wife was the same way. She's not a huge meat eater to begin with.
Yep.
She didn't like it. I started making it the right way, and all of a sudden now it's good.
Yeah,
because the health benefits have outweighed the.
Well, and she likes the jerky, and she likes the sticks and the.
You can't even taste it in chili.
Right. Well, don't get me started.
All right, Molly, you call me.
Yeah.
There's no way because I 100% of the time I make chili's venison. 100% of the time.
Yep.
Every time we have people over to the house, they all ask for my chili. Right. That's kind of the thing. There's people that I know hate venison. They're just mowing that stuff down they can't. I just don't tell them.
But it goes right back to the
100%.
preparation.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe.
you have a little extra fat in there. You get some tallow in there or something like that, and
But still, it's chili, man. You can't.
Well, and that was the thing. So, like, I like my chili with not only ground venison, but I like it with chunks of steak or roast or something like that. So when I was proposing to make it at home, she's like, as long as you don't put the chunks in there. I'm like, that's the best part. So I fried up some steaks last night too. I seasoned them up.
Nice.
So I don't, not a lot because I ate a couple of them last night
you know
after I'm making them.
You know what's gonna happen? Now Munt's gonna be like, sure you did that when I was gone.
Yeah. Well, it's a full crock pot, so hopefully there'll be enough for
There won't
everybody
be
else.
any left.
But I like it with.
Is Nate working today? Is Nate here?
I think he
Not
is.
yet,
I think he's here
Is
tonight.
he this afternoon?
I
There
think
is no
so.
chili left.
Yeah. Well, I got a crock pot at home, so this one's staying here. So,
All right, cool.
All right. Well, Justin is ready to go
All right, let's
live
do
from
it.
the
Oh,
ice.
nice.
So I'm going to dial him up here.
Just for anybody who's not in the area, it is 6 degrees maybe
Yes.
right now. With
Actually,
about-
my phone is saying 0 now.
Okay, 0 with a what? 20-mile-an-hour wind.
The wind is
out on the lake.
The wind's
Horrible.
nasty.
So there's a really, really good chance that this doesn't last long.
Oh,
We'll
right.
see.
Right.
Let's
We'll
dial
see.
him up.
I mean,
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get the phone to work properly first.
and it's
Here we go.
Justin's first
That's
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
While we're dialing Justin, a lot of the stuff we talked about is all on the website.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
I mean, anything we sell now is online. It might not be online same day it's in the
Yes.
store.
Yep.
We're still working through kind of a little bit of a backlog.
Yep.
Getting products, but
we
we're
didn't
getting
touch
better.
on like the finicky fooler, and this is gonna be our product shout out. He doesn't want to answer, but Neptune, this is gonna be the real deal today. We got this one on sale today. Smart rod, just so easy to fish it.
Of course he wouldn't answer. Why wouldn't he answer?
He even said he was ready. Justin, what are you doing?
He's not available.
Jeez,
Well, let's just keep talking until
all
he
right, we'll
decides.
figure this out.
So now I'm gonna talk about this because I am a huge fan, and it took me to some convincing to get you to go to a straight line reel.
Oh no, I've used straight
Oh, have
line.
you? Okay.
It took me some convincing to go to the Ghost free fall.
The free fall.
Yep, and there's some bad reviews out there, but there's a little bit of a learning curve with it.
Yep.
I'll give you an
I
example.
was going to ask, what's
I'll give you an example. The first time I used it, because I fish with the pistol grip like this, out of habit, I typically
squeezing
put
the
some
trigger?
pressure.
Yeah.
So the very first fish I set the hook on was a nice crappie, and
And you free
I
schooled her.
hit it.
Yeah.
I still caught the fish, but it took
Yes.
it took a little bit to clean up the mess. So.
Well, and the idea behind the straight liner, for those who don't know or those who never fish one, is it helps eliminate that line twist. That
Yep.
a spinning reel is still the most go-to, like that's on that 13 combo over there.
Now, do you know why line twist happens on a spinning reel?
It's because people close the bail
With the handle.
With the handle,
If
they
you
crank
close-
it close.
yeah, I mean,
we'll
if you-
demonstrate it on that one.
But every time you cast a spinning reel, open water, whatever, every time you take that reel and you close the bail with the handle, you add a line twist.
Right.
So can you imagine all day long you're casting and doing that, how much twist you put in your
You
line?
just-
So
you
I'm
just taught
gonna
me
attest to
something
that.
there.
I'm gonna attest to that is that me being a rather inexperienced fisherman and fishing again this past year that's how I always closed my.
Yeah. So
my-
and you'll
my
notice
bail.
it's not depending on where you open the bail. Like every time we got to get some weight on these next time. Every time it's right here. It's real easy. As soon as you throw it, you're meant to just take your hand and just flip it
Right.
closed.
And you just don't think about it
Right.
though because it does it itself. But now saying that though is then 2-3 hours into my fishing trip, I go, man, why is my line
Yes.
twisted so bad?
Yes.
And I never figured that out until a couple like 2 months ago. You guys had pointed that out when we were talking about something else, and I stopped doing it. I'm
Well,
like
plus
instantly
it's not
just
good
done.
for the bail spring either.
No,
I couldn't imagine it
Maybe
is.
they're
for
not
the-
designed to close
No.
with the reel. It
We-
works, but they're not
we
really
get it-
designed for that.
We get a ton of reels that come in for Bob Schumacher, who fixes our reels.
Yep.
And it's always the same thing. And then you look at one of them and you're like, you're not supposed to close it like this. Well, what are you talking about? Close it with your hand. It literally takes no extra time.
Right.
And what Ty taught me as well is when you close it with your hand, he said he'll even grab and pull the slack out all at the same time. And now it becomes so routine, I don't even know I do it.
I was gonna say
Yep.
I've taught my 7-year-old does that. It's just instinctive now. 'Cause
instinctive.
I just know the right way to do it, so we're gonna do it right.
I've always done it the right way, just because a lot of reels kind of have a catch to them when you
Yes.
try to engage with
Right.
the reel anyway.
And
so-
I noticed that too, and that's why, like I said, literally once I learned that, it's something that you just don't learn, and so many people haven't been educated on.
Yep.
So many people do it, but I think now knowing that,
This is the other thing.
Yeah.
This is the proper way to hold a spinning reel.
On the left side?
No, down.
yeah, I've
Spinning
s-
reel down.
I was just gonna say the
This-
same thing.
I
That's
saw
not
it.
right.
Yep.
Why can't you do it this way?
I'm
I
not saying-
saw a lady doing that on a video.
It happens a lot. This is not. I'm not going to say it's wrong because what's right. But all I'm saying is when you're holding it like this, you're fighting all of the weight of the reel. This is just natural.
Yep.
So please, dear God, hold it the right way.
But Brian, I get such better action when
Oh
the
my
reel
God,
up.
you're killing me.
There's no more fatigue this way.
I mean,
Oh.
actually, so here's a real quick side
It's literally
tangent.
one of my little pet peeves. Is
I'm right there with you on that one.
So I was next door at Ye Old Goat, and I'm always in there probably once a week looking for antique fishing
thank
stuff or antique stuff for my wife. And I was in there and I found an original, I can't remember the brand. I hung it up in my man cave, but it's an original, like it's one of the original spinning reels, you know, where it's like front. It's actually on the front where it comes out
like
instead of around. And so I had that, and I noticed something was a little off of it. It had a trigger on the on the reel. Now, mind you, this thing is I dated it on the rod. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
On the rod, there was a trigger, and the reel itself was like dated 1956.
Oh, that's cool.
So I definitely needed it. But then I noticed when I got home, I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a trigger, and I'm like, this is on a bait casting rod, and it's like a steel rod. This is that old that it's a steel rod, but the dude had it rigged up so that the spinning reel was on top. I was confused.
Hey, if it works for you, whatever. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just trying to inform you of the correct way to do it.
We're here to educate.
So when I'm on the water, I don't have to like lose my mind. It's just it's like clicking pens for me, right? I always have to click them so they're closed. It's just a pet peeve of mine.
Yep.
If you like having the reel on top, push button.
I was gonna say push button or bait caster, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and back to with the bait caster, so there is a learning curve to this. Like you have to have the bait properly fall on its own to, you know, by setting up the sensitivities and all this kind of stuff. But I like this because on Bago, and it's, you know, it's going to be a lot faster to get the bait down into that school.
Yeah, it's super slick. I mean, with that trigger system, it starts dropping. You have an adjustment based on the weight of the bait. You can adjust it for the drop speed, and you're just going to hit that. If you're fishing with a flasher, I mean, this is sweet. If you're open water, deeper basin crappie fishing, and you got fish suspended, you're dropping that bait down right when you get it to where you want it to be. You're ready. You're ready to start jigging right away. You just let off the trigger.
And so, like, I have a free fall edition, and then I also have this one here. This is the Black Betty 6061. I like this one a lot too. This is on my panfish stuff. But you already talked about like making that mistake of you know, not closing it. What I'll do is when I hit the button here, because this one has a side button to work it. This is a right-handed reel. It just feels weird. It's actually over here. But so the side button here, this is the free spool mode right here. So you click that. What I'll do is I'll drop down and then I'll stop it with my hand, and then I'll make that mistake of not engaging it. So I'll drop it down, get it, because that way if the fish disappears, I can keep going and I don't have to hit the button again. But then all of a sudden now a fish will come up, race, and I'll set, and I'll have to catch up to the free spool mode on it. But these are, for me, I mean, I still have some spinning reels. Actually, no, I didn't. I sold them to you.
Yep.
So
thank you for that. By the way.
Yeah, and I moved for ice fishing. I moved primarily into the
they are
straight
better
liners.
For ice. They are better.
And we've sold a pile like that radioactive pickle that you were talking about. We've sold a mess of them. I think we're probably one of the only places left in the Midwest that still has them.
And I think honestly with what you sold me, I think I might swap one of them out to a free fall just because I used a free fall the last weekend I went fishing alongside of it, and they both have their benefits, but just when you're sitting still in line dropping weight down, I mean, you can't beat it.
So, and what I did for this one, just for demonstration purposes, I paired it with a 28-inch medium light.
Awesome rod.
And this
right
is
there.
This is a St. Croix. This is a Mojo Ice. So I think that this is going to be an awesome combination out there. Now, how do you feel about that action for like, let's say, dropping down a pimple or a jig and wrap? Would you prefer to go to a medium or a medium light?
For a jigging wrap, I would recommend a medium.
Agreed.
If it's a size 2, maybe 3, you could probably get away with a medium light. I've done that before, but
part of it's the weight of the bait, but the other part of it's what you're fishing for. Right. Where that medium light, white bass, walleyes is probably going to be a little light action to try to maybe not get the fish up, but you get it under the hole. Now you got to try to kind of maneuver that fish a little bit.
So do you think that medium light, does that affect action at all?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, you know, we're talking about the jig and wrap presentation.
Well, you're going to get less on your jerk. You're going to get less movement because the rod's going to bend. So you're going to get a little less.
So basically, what you're trying to tell me is I have a medium light Wicked. I should probably get a medium.
You probably should. If for walleyes and white bass, I would recommend.
If you're going to be jigging with heavier baits, 3, 5 jigging wrap. Yeah.
Yep. So, So, okay, cool. I get to spend more money. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
That's the name of the game around here, though.
It is. It is. Well, and that was so when I first started here, I had a real cheap spinning open water combination. And all I got is Justin breathing down my neck saying, dude, just upgrade. So now was in Oshkosh when I trained down there. Then I came up here. Then we hired Ty. And I didn't buy one right away. And then we hired Ty, and Ty's like, you got to upgrade your rods. It's terrible. Your selection is terrible. I'm like, why? So I did. I upgraded my rods, and what a world of difference a good quality rod does. I'm not telling you got to spend $500 like those Mega Bass that we just got in. But, you know, a $100 rod is definitely worth the investment.
I've always said that if you're going to pick between a rod and a reel, which one to spend the money on, spend it on the rod.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Because that's where all of the sensitivity comes in, the action comes in, all of the fish fighting powers in your rod.
Yep.
All the reel does is pick up line. Right now, from a casting standpoint, obviously, if you get a little better casting distance, those types of things. Now I'm talking more open water than ice, but
yes,
you get that in a more expensive reel. But for the most part, for the average guy or whatever, spend the money on the rod. If you've got $150, put $100 into the rod, $50 in the reel,
and you can. I mean, there's some really nice like Shimano style reels, even the 13 reels that are out there that are very affordable.
Yep.
Like the Sienna at a $30 price tag is one of the best spinning reels I think you can get your hands on.
Fluger President. I'm a huge fan of them.
Yep.
There's some really awesome in that 30 to 50. You can get some great reels for that amount of money. Put your money in the rod. You will not regret it. I guarantee
Right.
And don't be afraid to ask the questions on why that rod is that way. I asked those questions when we – what's that?
E.C. Davis says, Matt, use promo code TRS Live.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah, nice. I thought you meant because I forgot to mention it. But thanks, EC. Now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
But no, don't ask questions.
It was too funny.
It was. Yeah, use promo. I wish I could use it, EC.
Right, but to attest to that, though, I mean, when I first started back here, I didn't have jack for fishing gear. I had a bunch of like old stuff that was sitting around. One of my rods is still in my office as the joke rod now, but I brought it all in. Justin literally just told me junk all of it.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, I gave one of my wife. I made one into a big, really big, heavy catfish pole.
Yeah.
And then it's like literally it's like a 5-foot butt for deep sea fishing, and it makes no sense as to why I even own it.
See, and I think that's where if you're honest with yourself on what kind of an angler you are,
Yep.
right? Do you want to go catch fish? Do you want to be species specific? Do you want to tournament fish? What do you want to do? There's a million different options out there, but for guys like me, that's species. I mean, I go fishing for one thing. That's it, right? I bass fish. So I mean, different actions make a huge difference for different tactics.
Yep.
Right.
If you're the guy that just wants to shore fish, and just want to catch whatever's going to bite, then there's rods for that too.
Right.
But what I was going to say is,
that classic rod. That's if you're open water, that 7-foot medium classic rod. That's the rod for that shore fisherman.
That's exactly what I was getting at, though. Is so I got that classic rod, which is awesome for the money.
A crazy deal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the cool thing about that, though, is we paired it up. Like $14.99.
I think they're.
It was like a $60 rod. We got a crazy awesome deal, and we bought like 1,000 of them or whatever.
We're gonna jack the price back up because Zach just said it was so awesome.
Yeah, but they're really cool. I paired that with the Sienna, and I went out there, and it worked really well. But then we started our small demo rod program, so I swapped that out with the Tony. You're gonna have to help me out with this. It's a Powell. It's a Powell something or other. It's like the Inferno. Yep, Powell Inferno, and I think it's a light or a medium light.
Job for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a Powell Inferno. It's a light, and that one we threw some braided line on and went for.
Justin said he's ready.
Yep, I'll get him on here. He
he's
guess
calling
he's just telling. We'll
Justin,
save that one for later.
Justin is coming in hot.
Yeah. Don't answer it.
He's all freaking out. He's like, "Oh, I was supposed to be on like an hour ago."
Don't answer. Oh. Hey-oh. Look at them. They look warm.
That's
it's working.
Morning, guys.
Bago, Sturgeon Spearing. 2009.
You guys look cold.
You can have that, right? Just wait here. Pull up to the gate. Yeah. We're gonna cut in. We just cut our shelter and waiting for you guys. We were having some difficulties getting this thing loaded up here, but
Zach said you guys had an issue with the first guy that was supposed to cut your hole.
His saw blew up on him, so we had to try to find another guy.
Oh, jeez. Well, that's gonna happen when it's 20 below.
it's unbelievable. how cold it is out here.
How much
I mean,
how much snow you got out there right now, Justin?
Not much. Couple inches. It's drifty, but mostly ice.
Mush. He's just telling Jess to mush right now.
I'm gonna take you outside here in a minute and show you this pure misery.
Is she gonna stop first, or is she just gonna make you eject?
Eject.
No, because I'd like to have the snowplow have some, area to plow.
Man. Here it goes already.
Hey guys, what are those awesome clothes that are keeping you warm right now?
Oh, jeez.
These are.
Gotta love cell service.
Uh-oh.
You gotta love cell service. Here,
Reconnecting.
we'll see
There's
what
a
happens
port.
here.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yep.
There we go. It's in and out. I mean, you guys are kind of in the middle of a lake, so I wouldn't.
Connection's poor. Are we back?
Yeah, you're
We're
back.
back.
You're back.
All right, we're going outside. We're gonna go talk to Brandon Aarons. He's been cutting in people for a very long time.
It just looks cold. He's not.
No idea.
He's.
Thanks, buddy.
We're gonna have to hook him up with a microphone.
Yep. I was gonna say there's probably no way he can hear us.
Yeah, I didn't think you guys were gonna be able to hear me very well out here.
Well, I can actually hear you pretty well. Can you hear us still? Nope.
There we go. He's got the idea.
You know, if you've never been on a lake when it's 20 degrees and windy,
Yeah,
and, I
it
mean
sucks.
negative 20 and windy, it's brutal.
What we'll have to do is we'll have to get him a headphones
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a little microphone on
Yep.
them.
Yeah, we'll get this live thing figured out.
Holy man, listen to
That
that
wind.
wind.
You guys, it's cold. Definitely cold.
So you haven't
You know, and the guy that's cutting our hole, he's doing it with the chainsaw, and it sprays water everywhere. He is one tough booger.
tough booger.
I think Justin's gonna be walking over to show us exactly what's going on in a second here. Hopefully.
Well, if you've
Trying to
never
show you guys the
seen,
chaos. It takes a small village to cut these holes. Here's Brandon.
Hey,
how's it
buddy.
going? If you've never cut an ice hole in, this is gonna be awesome. If you've ever seen this is cool.
Are you cutting right now, Justin, or are you? Is your hole done already?
Our hole is done. We're cutting. Brandon, are you cutting this? Yeah, the guy's coming to get it all marked out quick, and we're gonna go here in a moment.
Awesome. If you've never seen it, it's pretty cool to watch. And I feel bad for the guy today with how cold it is.
Oh man.
Who has to do this?
I'm gonna let Jess take you on tour here for a minute. I gotta put my glove on. My right hand is frozen solid.
All right.
Yeah, good.
Hey, Jess, nice hat.
Going.
It looks like they're on the moon or something.
Hey, we got part. Oh,
Hey! Here got the lattes out. What is it? It's
5 o'clock someplace.
It is never too early for a latte.
Yeah, got the lattes going.
How's it going out there, Jess?
Yeah, we're about to cut in here. They just said over you'd see.
Got her nice sick.
Yeah, Fanatic, Neck Gator, Real Shop Beanie that's on the website.
Just shameless product plugs.
Yeah, it's
Here
all
we go.
over the place.
Is it warm there in the office?
It's actually, I was thinking about it. It's a little hot in here. We got the door closed.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
Is it? Is Matt getting any work done, or is he driving around the lake again today?
I never did any work done. I'm looking at you.
Hey, Zach, can they see us or no? I don't think they can because all I can see is. Justin, can you see us or no?
No, I can't.
Okay, Zach will get it working here.
All right,
No, that's
just
just
2
changed
seconds
the-
here. I'm gonna try and get that to him.
They got a guy with a plow out here, which saves an amazing amount of time and effort.
What time did you guys start this morning, Justin?
We got out on the ice about 9.
Okay.
As much as you're having a hard time hearing me, I'm actually having a hard time hearing you too.
No, we're good. Can you hear me okay now?
Try to take you guys inside, see if you can see what's.
There you go.
It's just not right.
Oh, nice.
Camera.
That just looks
So they
good.
basically, score the outside of the hole first so they know where to cut. Then they pull the sack out. You gotta come to the sound.
Okay, Justin. Holy.
He can't hear us. Oh, man.
I was going to ask you to explain to me how this is fun.
Yeah. Go back into pickup. Man.
He's weak. He needs to put his gloves on.
Are you guys still with me?
Oh,
yeah, you're
Yep,
doing a
we're
great
here.
job. Yep.
I was hoping the hole cutting would be a little speedier, but feel free to ask me any questions about sturgeon. Life cycle, mating habits, things of that nature.
Well, Justin, actually, Matt's dad before was asking what the sturgeon numbers kind of looked like this year. What was the general outlook on the season?
General outlook on the season are you talking with the clarity?
Oh, just, I don't know, clarity, fish numbers, all that kind of stuff.
I have no idea. Well, I can tell you ice conditions are actually really good. The lake really got hard after all that rain, so it's really nice, minus the 25-mile-an-hour wind and the 1 degree. Yeah, clarity is pretty decent out here too, so somebody's excited.
Who is that?
A lot of people are excited about this. No, it's fun.
It looks like a lot of fun out there right now.
It actually is a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people, plenty of adult beverages, and a lot of hard work.
And that's like any other sport, right? All this stuff's more about the camaraderie than it is about the actual.
Now, Justin, I got a question for you. If you can hear me, you had talked about the.
We lost him
completely. That
I just had such a good question for him
back.
too.
Don't forget it.
Don't
forget it,
guys.
Don't forget.
Remind me to remind him. We're gonna ask him about how the Panoptics helped him scout.
Oh, okay.
Because
was he talking about that?
I think he did. I think he used it for scouting. So
get him back here in a second if you guys want to hang on.
So I did excuse Tony. He's
got stuff to sell.
He's got to go work the sales floor. Mark was nice enough to cover for him. So Tony is back up front. So go see Tony with any questions.
We got to get this live figured out.
Well, I just think it's
they're in the middle of a lake.
Well, no, but that's
and he has U.S. Cellular like I do, so I assume.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. I'm going to be on a lake all summer, and I want it to work.
Well, but I wonder.
Well, I think you have Verizon, so we're going to be okay.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
I wonder if part of this is too because he might be hitting the buttons with his glove.
It could be. I mean, obviously conditions are not ideal.
I'm going to tell him to go to the
that.
East Shore and see if he can find my striker glove. You didn't find it in your truck?
I honestly didn't even look.
Oh, man.
It's here if you want to go look in it.
I'm missing a striker glove. I might have dropped it on the East Shore Tuesday afternoon.
When we were doing the landing video?
Yeah, I'm so bummed.
It's a rough day.
It was a rough day.
That was a rough day.
I think the video went over pretty big, though.
Oh, I think it was monstrous.
I mean, it got viewed 8,000 times.
Yeah.
Reached like 18,000 people.
Well, and it's...
Let's
try it again. Oh, I hear a chainsaw.
Oh, I hear chainsaw.
We hear things.
Yeah, there he is.
We're back. Oh, boy. Well, look at it. They got chairs going on right there.
There we go. Oh, look at this.
Oh, what a tease.
He must be hitting it with his glove.
Oh, Mundt. You're killing me.
Send him a message. Take your dang glove off.
You're killing me.
Now it's just about to get... Here we go. Overtime.
I'm going to try him again. We're gonna get this.
Is he calling us right now? Or
I'm calling him.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think he's bumping with his gloves for sure.
Yeah. Which you can't blame him. I mean,
see, but I can see in his glasses where he's holding the phone, so he shouldn't be bumping anything.
I'll take the blame for that because that cell phone holder was supposed to. I left it up front yesterday.
I thought you had it back here.
I did. And I went up front to promo it out.
And then you left it?
I left it up.
You know, you can do that from your computer, right?
I was gonna say, did somebody start talking?
But
to
it was
you
before. It was before they had a till in.
Did somebody start talking to you and you got sidetracked?
Yeah, I got pressure from Lance to put this battle on Bago stuff together. Then Zach.
You know, we got to be careful with how much we asked Matt to do at one time.
It's about time you guys start realizing I can only do one thing at a time.
I try to see what you're capable of.
Not just a pretty face.
Is existing that one thing?
I think it's existing in blooper reel.
Yeah,
Right.
The roast. That blooper reel was funny.
He's
I'm
good
not
for
gonna
that.
lie.
I actually like those. Those are good times.
That was good.
It's fun.
Zach does a great job. So if anybody wants any video content, you can hire Zach. He is amazing.
It's true.
You can hire Zach.
You can hire me.
It's funny. I was just checking my phone. I got a message from Wags. Oh, we're in trouble. He probably wants to do some product shout-outs.
He probably does.
Because he realizes we're the bomb bizzle.
We kind of are.
So while Justin is still out there, I bet you he wishes he had an ice heave. I like the ice heave. Just talking about products.
It does make a big. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes a.
It does.
It's awesome.
This is one of those must-haves. You're gonna want this thing for Bago, especially with the snow that's out there, the amount of ice that's out there. You're gonna want an ice heave. This is that. We talked about this when Justin was on. This is that hole cleaner. So you leave it like this, drop it down.
Yep.
Open it up
And lift.
and lift it right up.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Right.
It's called the deep freeze one-shot skimmer for a reason because it only takes one opportunity.
Wow,
So-
you should almost do commercials.
Should I do it? Should I?
Yeah,
do
you should.
commercials.
All right.
So I know we're on the topic of products.
Yep.
We've got a lot of cool stuff on the table. However, there was something that we brought up last week about propane.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Flame King.
Flame
So yesterday I toughed it out and edited like my third or fourth video for the day, which was a Flame King video.
What?
Nice product spotlight.
Hey, Ryan wants to know: does that come in a 10-inch? I think it does.
I think it does.
I don't know
this
if we
is
have
the
any.
6-inch model. The
Yep.
8-inch is I think we have the 10-inch available.
Okay,
as
I didn't
well.
know if we had any.
I think
in
we have all
stock or
three
not.
sizes up front. Yes.
I'll
yes.
go check the website.
Tell them right now. Oh yeah, on your fancy.
Yeah, somebody should have bought you one of these, and you could be online.
Wait a minute. I think someone
Wait a
did.
minute. I
Oh,
think
it's
I
at my
did.
desk.
And then I think somebody else set it up for you to be able to use for today.
God, I got such
But
good.
where is it?
Such good
Where-
crew
where'd it
around
go?
Or
here.
like you've got the.
I got the A team, and
You
I
got
just
it going
I just
on.
bring the F team all down. Right. It just turns right to an F team.
We do.
All right.
We've got a bunch of the.
The 10-inch.
I'm gonna put this link in the. Ryan was asking.
Hey Ryan.
There you go.
Ryan is a friend of the show. I've always wanted to say that. You always hear people, "Oh, good friend of the show."
Thanks for yeah. Well, we do appreciate everybody
it's
that
awesome.
tunes in, but we have
Oh, but he's
Definitely.
on here
every time.
Yeah,
and
so
he
that's-
also supports the Real Shot too. I think every time we're on here, he buys something.
Yeah,
he
he's
takes
been-
advantage of that 10% off at TRS.
TRS
10
Live.
live.
He's been good.
Anyways, back to the Flame King.
Oh, here it is.
We have a video to show you guys. It'll also be posted up around noon today, but we're gonna roll that right here live.
Wait a
so
minute.
let's get
Are we gonna
that
be able to see it on the
queued.
Skype?
No, we're gonna talk
we
about this
could.
after. We might need a second screen, is what he's gonna tell
Well,
me.
you're not gonna be able to see it on there either.
Well, I can, but it's
It's gonna be
delayed.
delayed.
Well, I'll explain it to you guys later.
This is my first time seeing this, so
I haven't seen
I'm
it
in
either.
it, and I just want to make sure it's not a blooper reel like everything else.
Well, quit doing it
my,
then.
my life is a blooper reel. Roll it, Zach. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I said it last time.
There you go. Are you guys happy with the
Yay.
crazy? Don't ignore the crazy stuff going on the left side of the screen. All right, we're rolling the video.
What's up, everybody? It's Matt with The Real Shot. We're standing outside. We're going to demonstrate how to use the Flame King. It's a refillable propane tank system. So what we got going on here is a couple things you're going to need. You can buy the kit. It's going to come with the stand, the nozzle, and it's going to come with one of the Flame King 1-pound cylinders. Most everybody at home has a 20-pound cylinder. What you do is you attach the nozzle to it. Now, one important step on each of the propane tanks, that's what makes the system work. There's this white little nipple, I'm gonna call it, on there. That's controlled with an Allen screw. It's your overflow valve. So you just crack the Allen screw in the process of filling it, just so when that starts to sputter out propane consistently, you know you're at your right 80 to 20%, 80% propane to 20% air ratio. Really simple. So all you do then, come down here. I have everything attached properly. The tank is off. I'm going to turn the tank on. I'm going to take the Allen screw that comes, or the Allen wrench that comes with it, put it inside here. I'm just going to crack the valve a little bit, and I'm going to start filling. And now, like I said, it'll start shooting out propane consistently when it's full. Also, a real important thing too is safety glasses on with gloves. You're working with propane, it can get real cold real fast. And once this green tank starts sputtering out the propane vapors, then you know it's real full. So
Again, this thing is super, super awesome. We sell them in the reel shot. If you have camping stoves, propane, ice augers, anything that requires a 1 pound cylinder, this investment is gonna be worth it in the long run. The kit itself is $49.99. The tanks are also reusable. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get the kit and probably an extra tank to go with it. That way you usually have 4 or 5 cylinders with you. Make sure to check it out. It's the Flame King propane refillable system.
Oh, good job, Matt.
Bingo, bango.
You didn't even like trip over yourself or anything. That's awesome.
No,
nice job.
Zach's editing skills are amazing.
Yeah, I edited out all the awful parts that he messed up.
That's amazing. You got a video out of it then.
Right?
No,
I was surprised too.
So that's an awesome product. The Flame King, that thing is amazing.
Did you at all feel unsafe dealing with the propane transfer like that? I mean, you're not a professional propane guy, right?
No,
so
I'm not.
You ain't no Hank Hill.
I'm no Hank Hill. I try to do the voice, but I can't. No, I did not. There's not a point that I didn't feel, like my life was in jeopardy or just.
Well, I mean, propane's serious.
It is
stuff.
serious stuff, but I did. Right. I did find out the hard way that you definitely need to have the gloves on, though. I mean, because that top of that nozzle, cold. It got cold fast.
Really cold.
Yeah, and then I understand the safety glasses and all that stuff, and that's why we urge people. And I can't remember if it said it in the video. Do it outside. Do it in a well-ventilated area. I mean, that's just common sense.
Safety's always got to be number one.
Well, the whole time I was doing it, I could smell propane. Just because what happens is that there's that release valve on there, and it explained it, but that's pushing air out, but a little bit of propane's leaking out at that same time.
Now, how many times did you do it before you filmed it?
I filled 2 tanks.
And then did the filming?
And then we did we filled 3 full tanks.
So, I mean, it looked relatively easy.
It is really easy.
The reason I asked was if that was, hey, I've been doing this for a month straight.
Nope.
So that was your third take.
The day we did that filming, that was the first time I used it. And we've been wanting to do that video for a little while. Just because that product sits there, and unless you see it and play with it, you don't really know what the heck it's all about.
The reason I think that's really important, I want to do a lot of that this summer for sure.
Yes.
Is like, this is the first time I'm fishing this lure. This is the first time I'm making this cast. It's not, watch these professional guys do this stuff, and they always make it look so easy, right? Well, nothing in life's really that easy.
Nope.
So that's why I think it's important. This is the third time I did it. It looked pretty easy.
Well, and that's the thing, too, with, like, the video stuff, a lot of people could think that we're lying and saying that because Zach could just literally edit it out, or but I'm telling the truth. It's not that hard. Now it's not as fast as what I think some people expected it to be. Okay. I mean, it takes, I don't know, 2 to 3 to 4 minutes to
for that 1 pound cylinder.
1 pound cylinder. And at first it took me a little longer just because I was uncertain of what it should look like and all this kind of stuff. There is a really good instructional video on their website. But now the way we did this one, you can just click on our website and you're going to be able to watch it. So that's going to be today's product shout out because I think we just discounted the tanks.
Oh, awesome.
On the website. Not the kit itself. The kit itself comes with the stand, the nozzle, and then it also comes with 1 propane cylinder. Okay. What I think I would definitely recommend is get the kit and then buy an extra tank right away.
Right.
Because when I'm out fishing now this weekend, I'll probably have
Now, does that only work with their special 1 pound tanks, right?
Yep. Because there's that Allen wrench, there's that bleeder on there. So you have to, that's what allows
and then if I watched the video, if I remember right, that their little 1 pound cylinder actually has the same built-in specifications and requirements as the big 20 pound tanks.
Yes.
It's not like the cheapy 1 pounders you buy in the store that are pretty much disposable.
Yep.
Right? Like their 1 pound tank has got the same security measures and specs that the big tank has.
The big tanks do.
Right.
And, like, we were talking to Justin about that, and he said, like, every weekend he's going through at least 4 propane tanks, the 1 pound cylinders.
Yeah.
So before he was running and buying them,
Yep.
Now he's like, well, this thing's going to pay for itself in no time.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
Because I think every time he was buying a 4-pack, it was right around $16.
Right.
So, you do a tank exchange, that's $19. Once you have the kit, no brainer, So
can I ask a Matt question?
Yeah, ask him.
How many 1 pound fills do you get out of a 20 pound tank? I'm just kidding.
17?
6. Is 6 right? Is that the right answer? No, but
I'm sure it's not 1-to-1 though. I'm sure there's got to be some
well,
loss.
there's a little bit that comes out of there. So
all right, well, I guess we're
think
giving
we
up on
lost.
Justin here, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty much. The weather wins.
The weather and the cell service has
We're
won.
gonna figure the cell service out. I promise we will figure the cell service thing out.
Well,
I got some ideas.
And I would imagine for him too. At this point, he just said it.
Well, enough's enough. And
Enough
he knows
is
we don't want to sit around and wait 35 minutes to see somebody cut a hole.
And his,
so.
his hands frozen. And
Ryan wants to know, can you fill other tanks with it?
I don't believe so. They have to be the Flame King tanks. Now, don't quote me on that. I didn't research into that enough.
I was actually thinking the same thing. Could I buy like a big 60-pound one, use their adapter, and fill a 20-pound tank? I don't know. I'm sure there's other things out there that do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Part of me is like
I don't like messing around with it personally, so I just take
if
it in.
Ryan wants to try that on his own, he can try that.
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't
let us know.
Just
but-
asking. He asked.
Yeah, no, it's a good. It's
Trying
a
to
good
make
question.
this interactive.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
You could also see the questions if you brought your device to the show.
That's true.
True story.
All right.
So, Sturgeon Spearing starts this weekend.
Yep.
So good luck to everybody that's venturing out.
Please share your pictures. That would be
Share
awesome.
your
I'd love
pictures.
to see them.
Yeah, right
It's
away.
Prehistoric monsters.
Trophy Photo Tuesdays coming up. Obviously next week. Next week we're finally getting a little bit ahead of the game with the TRS live stuff. We got now this one is a big show coming up. So I don't know if you guys remember, but Wednesday we're gonna have a local celebrity on here. We're having Mark Druick, the host of Living the Outdoors.
Yes.
We got him on. We finally made a point to work his schedule better so he can get off the sales floor and get in the room. I know people want him on
and
here.
for people who don't know, Mark is the store manager.
Store manager.
He runs the store. He's
So
been
like
doing
right
it.
now, Mark was covering that time while he allowed Tony to come in here, and that was so awesome on him. But
and if you don't know Mark is a wealth of knowledge in the outdoor industry. He's been
Well-
doing it forever. And he is pretty much the sole reason this store has turned into what it is.
Yep.
I mean, he's
Amen.
I don't want to say sole reason. Obviously, I like to think so all of us have something to do with it.
Yeah.
But the customer service and the actual store,
Yes.
what the store itself is, the actual retail store itself.
Yep.
Mark has been
Yep.
instrumental in all of that since day one.
Well, and you had referred to the wealth of knowledge. I asked him, like, oh, you got anything in particular you want to talk about? Then I thought about that. I'm like, where do you even start?
Right.
I mean, he's got the gun knowledge. He's got the archery knowledge. He's got
just talk a little bit all of it.
everything. So that's Wednesday's show. And then we also talked to TJ again, just to kind of clarify. His schedule is so flexible. We wanted to try to have more of a set day for TJ, but it's a little tough, just the way the tournament schedule works. And what we did find out is we're going to talk to him basically on the MLF stuff.
You're getting there.
I got it.
You're getting there.
Notice there's a
little
slight
pause.
hesitation.
Little pause. We're getting there. Yeah.
But so he's not going to be traveling so much.
Well,
with
it
the
sounds
Elite
like there
series.
was a little bit of a change between him and his business partner,
Yep.
where he's not gonna just due to the overlaps. He just doesn't.
Yeah, there's a couple tournaments where there will be an overlap. Well, will be in the same
But
state.
for the most part, we're gonna be covering the MLF and
MLF, which is
what's
exciting
going on.
one
Which
anyways.
it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Nobody else around. It's the cooler format to follow, anyways.
Yep.
It just is.
So yeah, we'll have TJ on again next week, and we just got to film Monday and Friday. But I think Mondays we've kind of just dedicated to catching up over what happened over the weekend. Like,
weekends
this
and-
weekend's gonna be catching up over Sturgeon
Have to
Spearing.
get some sturgeon numbers on
Try to
Monday.
get some
and
Justin in here for that. And then we also are in the process of you're gonna try to get the Battle on Bago dude.
Yep.
Get
I'll
him
see if I
on
can
here.
Get Glenn in here.
Glenn
so
in here.
Glenn, if you're watching, I'd love hit me up.
Hit me up. So
I think it would also be really cool is could we take video, if somebody does some awesome video stuff over the weekend of a sturgeon harvest.
Yep.
Could we get that video? Send it to us? What would be the best way for somebody to send us video?
Email.
Email you video? What email?
Through Gmail. They would have to do it through
I
Gmail for the
understand,
most part, but
'cause they
then
can use Drive, right?
and then I would say
I know.
if
I
you
just
have,
can't-
if you
I just
have
had
a
this
video
idea right now.
right, if you have a video and you want to send us something from Sturgeon Spearing, which like I have a guy right now who is going to hopefully get one and send to us because he swears by it that his spot is the best spot. And he has a
Is that
GoPro
Justin?
on his spear, so he'll actually be putting it
sweet.
through the water.
But I think if people,
are you gonna go out with him on Saturday?
I'm gonna try.
I think as a whole, if people have cool video, trail cam videos, whatever,
Yeah.
I would love. We got to come up with an easy way for them to send it to us,
Right.
that we can get that stuff on the show.
Either way, if you have a video, please just reach out to our Facebook page. Either Matt and I will address it, give you our emails, and then we'll
Maybe we
handle
should
it from
come
there.
up with a way to do that. We should figure that out.
Yeah.
Total sidebar.
You know, by
We'll
when
have
he
a
says,
little. We'll have a little business meeting right here.
when he says we, he means you. You know that,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
You know, in my defense, I'm not as dumb as I look. I am not as. I have helped a little bit.
Oh yeah, you. Have.
Oh yeah.
Just a little
It's-
here and there. I help
Hey,
figure
listen,
stuff
I've
out.
got roasted this whole entire show, so it's about time I
It's
turn
true.
around and give it right back. So, but
I'm excited for the summer when I get to go fishing and film this stuff, and
Yeah.
how Zach is gonna bleep me out on the water.
I hope so.
Because it can get interesting.
yeah,
It's bad.
it's gonna be fun.
I'm not gonna bleep you out though. I'm gonna take like wildlife noises,
Yeah, whatever.
like deer noises, deer calls, and every time you swear, it's just gonna be like a deer
I'm
call
not. It's
here.
not bad. I should. You know, it's
Yeah.
not that bad. But there's times. There's times where the moment gets me.
I think it happens to all of us. I'm a very vocal guy. Ask Justin about my vocality. Actually, ask Lance and Mike about the
Guys.
vocality. It's
Anyway.
it's a rough time.
Nice.
All right. So
Well, cool. So good luck, Zach. What are you doing this weekend? You said you might catch up with your buddy Sturgeon Spearing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do something outside. I mean, I've been kind of locked up.
it's supposed to be cold again tomorrow, like 11.
Yeah,
Is today Friday?
it is Friday.
Oh my god.
This week flew.
This is crazy.
I don't like this whole getting older, weeks go by faster thing.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
See, I'm looking at it that I'm 23 and I can't say that this week
You
was
keep
5
saying
days.
that, and then it makes me feel old. And I don't
But
like
what I'm saying though is I just can't imagine how much worse it's going to be in 15, 20 years. Like I already go like, wow, I just woke up yesterday. It was Monday. Now it's Friday.
I'll
it's the
be
weekend.
honest. Other than my back giving me issues once in a while, I feel the same at 39 than I felt at 23. I like to think I make a few less stupid decisions. Just a couple, not many.
Keep thinking that way, Brian.
Just a
keep
couple.
thinking that way.
But anyway,
So, I was hoping I know you want to try to finish this up, but I was hoping you were going to say something about car sales.
There was a point where I said,
My
Matt,
coffee's
get ready to
almost
drink.
gone.
I know.
There was a
almost all
point.
left.
I was parched this one.
I was gonna say about a half hour ago. I was like, we were talking about how there's a specific rod, and if you're gonna buy something, buy a rod, because if you get the cheap one, then you can't do this. I'm like, just like when I was in car sales, drink. It's just like buying a car. You could buy the cheapest car on the market, or you could take what you really can afford and buy something nicer.
Well, what we found is we are slowly creating a pretty fun drinking game because you have, for anybody that tunes in, we're not promoting you to drink a lot. You could drink juice or
hey,
whatever.
if you're out like
Juice.
Justin is right now,
Yeah, have a bush
latte.
Yeah, it drank because Zach mentioned car sales.
You earned it.
But we found out doing that landing video that I am a huge advocate of being safe. I think that one clip, I said be safe at least 4 or 5
We could have made an
different times.
entire video of all the clips of you just going, be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe.
I just want everybody to be safe.
All right.
So here on out. All right. Well, good luck, everybody that's going to go out Sturgeon Spearing this weekend. Be safe. And then we'll be right here on Monday.
I got to get you a shirt.
I know.
Be safe.
Be safe. Well, I like how you ended it. Be safe with my name. And so anyways.
My favorite part of the blooper video was the PSA.
Yeah.
Pick up your shit.
Pick up your shit. Well, I mean, we talked about it already, but just literally don't leave your sturgeon crap out on the ice this weekend.
I think my favorite part of that video is you running down the landing.
Well, so if people don't know, you guys put a blooper reel together after the thing. It's on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny stuff.
So make sure to check out our Facebook page, our YouTube stuff. Like always, we always say, like this stuff, share it, and comment it.
Good job, man.
I know.
But being honest, there's a lot of people watching, and I'm going to get a little deep quick into how social media works real fast. If you're watching and you're a regular viewer, please like, comment, and share. Comment as much as possible, because all you're going to do is help us get noticed, help our show get out there, and give us more opportunity to do cooler stuff. So every bit of that helps. So that whether that's following and sharing stuff off our Instagram, going on our Facebook when we post a video, share it to your favorite group, share it to all your friends. Show people, tell people about it.
YouTube as well.
And on top of that, by doing all of those things, you could also sign up for our TRS affiliate program and use all of that attention you're giving yourself.
Bam! Talk about a commercial.
Yeah. But use all that attention you're giving yourself by promoting our stuff. You can then use that to spin sales on your end. I think I should have. I don't know. I thought about going into sales for a couple of years. Car sales. But for real, it only helps everybody. And, you know, if you guys
absolutely.
can profit off of it, too, we'd be more than happy to help you with that. So please just check out our TRS affiliate program.
And
share
we're not
everything,
looking for it
have
just
fun.
to help us out, because when it helps us out, we're able to help out.
absolutely.
By giving
Absolutely.
away more stuff, we get, you know, all that kind of cool
Think
stuff.
about it. If you sell $100 worth of stuff, or you give somebody a link and they spend $100, you just got $7 back in your pocket, and you didn't really have to do anything besides send a link.
Yeah.
Now you do that to, you know, 5 friends, spend $100. 5 times 7 is a number that I don't think it might be 45.
If you take it seriously, it can pay for your own habits.
Right.
For sure.
Right? I mean, it
You-
pays for your habit.
Use that account to fund all your fishing or hunting gear.
That's
So,
right. So,
either way, not to shamelessly plug, but we kind of have to sometimes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
do
Well,
all
it's either that or we get a bunch of random stupid sponsors.
Right.
I'd rather not.
yeah,
do
we
that.
don't want that.
I'd
This-
rather just talk for an hour and not have sponsor breaks.
This TRS Live is sponsored by Audible. Please check out their wonderful book selection of online books. Every podcast ever.
Wrap this up so I can go
Done.
make some chili.
All right, wrap it up.
All right, sounds
have
good.
a good day, everybody. Be safe
All
out
right,
there on
thanks,
the ice.
everybody.
Thank you.